My name is Allison Berkson. I'm pursuing my master's in yoga studies at LMU. I've been teaching yoga for about a year and a half. I was having some sort of like existential moments where I felt really out of body and I didn't feel like I was like connecting with myself like in a very physical way. And when there was a studio by my house that said 1 week free, and I said, why not? It's walking distance. And I tried, and that was it. And then I think I took a class every day after that for almost a year.
It feels great, right?
I discovered Jainism through Chris Chappell. That's how I really discovered Jainism. I don't think I knew anything about it before this program. I know for a fact I knew nothing about it. The India trip exposed me to Jainism. Through the LMU Yoga Studies Master's program, there is a required trip to India. What we do is we spend 3 weeks at the International Summer School for Jain Studies in Delhi, studying and learning about Jainism, taking trips to some tourist sites, but mostly Jain temples. So I was really liking Jainism. I think what I was actually enjoying was just the environment where conducive to studying, where I thrive in environments where it's pretty disciplined and there's not much to do but study. See, in LA is the opposite. So I was like so happy to be in an environment that was more structured and conducive to learning. We only had internet for 1 hour. I was secretly like, this is great. Like, this is wonderful, because it was so easy to just take in all your education. One day during lunch, I was talking to Chris, my professor, and I said, I really like Jainism. I want to learn more. Like, how can I come back here? How can I study more Jainism? And he was just like, oh, go talk to her over there. So instead of going home, I took all of my stuff with me to Ladnoon, and then I was there. I was in Ladnoon, Rajasthan, which is it's in the west, and it's like 2 hours away or 3 hours away from the Pakistani border. So it was hot. And I stayed there for 3 weeks. And that was primarily Shvetambara. Jainism is divided into 2 major sects, the Shvetambara, which is white clad, and then Digambara, which is, well, air. They wear air. They don't wear anything. If you're fully enlightened, you don't wear anything. You renounce all clothing, but the Shvetambara sect believe that you don't have to renounce clothing to be fully ascetic. The Digambara monks don't wear clothes. So it's weird. The first time I was like, oh my gosh. And then after that, you just get so used to it. It just stopped being a big deal. Acharya Tulsi, Acharya is like the head monk of this specific branch of Jainism, Shvetambara Theravada. He wanted Jainism to thrive, so he first did this small Anuvrat movement, which was like a small movement. He literally walked from house to house and like told people about Jainism, like that's what happened. And then he instituted a new order of Jain nuns and monks called Samans and Samanis. And essentially what a Samani is, they're a Jain nun who is allowed to travel by mechanical vehicle. That allows them to fly internationally, to lecture and teach people who don't have any exposure to Jainism about Jainism. I was alone in the desert with with somebodies who were taking care of me, and they were just as fascinated with me as I was with them, and it was just kind of interesting. So one of the lucky things I got to do was go with Komal to visit the Mamukshus, the little girls. The Mamukshus are another sect that Acharya Tulsi had instituted, and essentially what the Mamukshus are, they're little girls and boys, but mostly girls, who are training, who are in school, who have decided to renounce the worldly life to become an ascetic, either a samani or a sadhvi. So I was curious. I had a lot of curiosity. I was pretty much open to whatever it was going to be, because I mean, they're little girls. Why would they want to live this life? They all wear white. They are not allowed. They have sweets once a day. They study. I mean, why did they want to become ascetic? Like, why would they want to become? What 6-year-old wants to become a nun? Like, that I just didn't understand that. And I don't know, their imaginations are so big, and you just feel their imaginations, and you feel their spirit, like their energy. I don't know, it's so pure, and they're just smiling. They're so smiley, and they're so wondrous. And it's not, it's like there's something about their imagination, and I don't want to say preserved because I don't like that word, but it's just still there. It hasn't been fuddled with or messed with. That quality sometimes I feel is just lost in more industrialized environments, and I just wonder what we're missing out on. And if we could like cultivate that quality or nurture that quality here, I think there would be something gained. Part of the reason I want to keep Jainism alive with me post-India is because I think it's a really practical and peaceful way to live. I think it really resonates with me in terms of ahimsa, like nonviolence, is so powerful to actually practice nonviolence in thought, nonviolence in speech and action. It's really difficult, but it's doable. And I got to meet many people at the Jain Center of Southern California. In those classes, they talk about the Jain tenets, Anikant, Himsa, and Parigraha, in practical, everyday experiences.
I would say I learned a lot more at this temple than I did learn when I was younger, because they have schools here, they teach you. In India, when they have schools, all they teach you is like the scriptures, but they don't go into detail about what they actually mean. But here at Jain Temple, they actually have lectures in English, and they go into depth about what it means to actually follow Jainism.
I followed Jainism a lot. I was a really good kid growing up, and then I decided that I needed to escape it. And there was a period of time where I left. I didn't come to the temple for a little bit, and I explored every other religion. I went to synagogues, I went to churches, and all that stuff, and I read about everything. And you know, it wasn't the fact that I saw the differences in the religions that brought me back to Jainism, it was the similarities that I saw. And then the community. I grew up with these people. I mean, everyone here, a lot of the parents are like a second parent to me, second, third, fourth, fifth. I have a lot of parents here. But you know, we're very supportive of each other, and it's really nice, and I think that's what the whole point is. In terms of a sangh, that's what you call the community here. It's called the Jain Sangh, and it's really nice, and that's what really brought me back, and I got to see the beauty of it.
I think Jain Center of Southern California is the place to learn Jainism, because they teach you the meaning of everything. It's not just, when I was growing up, I was memorizing, because they would teach, they would not teach, and we would just take that, okay, mom says you have to learn, you learn. But I didn't understand the meaning. But as I come here, I learn and understand Jainism in real. So I'm very happy that I'm part of this community.
In India, the typical temple people go and pray and do rituals over there. But here, this Jain center not only does a lot of religious activities, but it goes beyond that because a lot of people want to do charitable activities or cultural activities or educational activities. So this Jain center provides them the platform to do any and all good things what they can do.
There are three major principles of Jainism, or three founding philosophical tenets from which you can sort of flesh out the rest of the philosophy, and that's Anekantvada, Ahimsa, and Aparigraha.
Stick to practicing three basic principles in the most simple manner. Which are they? Ahimsa means non-violence, Aparigraha means non-attachment, not collecting things, Anekantvada, non-absolutism, means that pluralistic view of everything in life.
Anekantvada. Anekantvada is what we all should learn, I feel, because everybody has an opinion and we should learn to respect that.
Anekantvada, because you see, every religion is a good religion. Just be a good human being. Don't hurt anybody's feelings. Don't hurt any human being and or animals, because every life is important.
The Jain religion is the most relevant religion of this time, this place, this time in the humanity, because the problem the humanity is going through, that the Jain religion has the most powerful solutions. The number one is like ahimsa, means non-violence. Not only the non-violence to the other human beings, but to the whole universe, even the micro insects. The second one is the aparigraha, and the literal meaning of the word aparigraha is the non-attachment. And you live the life, you collect all the wealth, but you're not attached to it. Anekantvada, there are a few other speakers spoke about it. And the literal meaning of the word anekantvada is that truth has a million faces, and all of them are true. So the Jain religion teaches that it's like you're looking at the thing, and depending on which angle you're looking at, and each one of it is true.
Everyone could benefit from being kind to each other. In Anekantvada, you cultivate tolerance for others and the way they are, for others' shortcomings, and everyone has shortcomings. So being tolerant with your own shortcomings and tolerant for other people's shortcomings, and know that there's a narrative behind everyone. It's just peaceful, and I want to keep that with me. I just think that certain areas of like cognitive dissonance or struggles that come up for me could be understood as valid and also worked through in a positive light through these tenets. I think it's just really practical life guidelines, guiding values for living peacefully. I definitely think that I would like to continue my studies with Jainism and learn more about the philosophical tenets and the details of it and the minutiae of it. Because something Nishala Joy Devi said was to study something is to love something, and so you can't study what you don't love in any real way. And I think I genuinely love Jainism, and I would love to continue to study it because it feeds me, and so I would like to feed it and give back to it.